Hey everyone, welcome to another video in the how-to series. Today we will be looking at the Cyberdata SIP paging adapter and how it connects to Business Connect, and also the Nightringer feature in a Part 2 edition, and that function is built into this SIP paging adapter. This model that we're going to install today is the Cyberdata SPA model 011233, and it's a very simple device, relatively small, and it mounts on the wall with some screw mounts on the back of it. This provides SIP paging interface in high impedance and in low impedance on the back. That's at 600 ohm in low impedance, a balanced input, and a 10,000 ohm output as well, which is using this guy here. The low impedance input is or output is using this interface here with a special connector, and I'll show you that in a second. On the device, there's a number of interfaces. Let's go over them. On the front, what you're going to see is the RJ45 Ethernet jack, and this is PoE capable as well. There is a 48 volt DC connector on the back that's tip positive for 48 volt DC. You can use an adapter if you wish. I have a PoE switch, so I'm going to be using the PoE function of the Ethernet jack on the RJ45, as well as a line level adjustment here. This is for using the background music that will be played over the PA system when paging essentially is idle. And you can have any kind of paging input or music input that you'd like to use for that output. On the back of it, starting on the left to right here, we've got a ground connector. This really eliminates a lot of the hum and allows for that balanced input. And you'll want to tie that or bond that to the same interface that the chassis of the amplifier is connected to as well. You have a line input. This is a high impedance line input. I've got a line input here that I've got. I'm going to use my line input, which is an output from an audio source that's going to be my background music through the PA system. We also have the line output. I'm not going to use that today because that's going to a high input, high impedance PA system. I'm going to use the connector that I've already pre-wired here with the two leads, and really it's pretty straightforward. It's asking for pins 3 and 4 to be used on this input for positive and negative of the 600 ohm input, and I've got it just wired directly into my speakers that I have on my desk here. So that's going to be my paging interface. So that just connects into this. It only goes in one way. Once that's plugged in, it's ready to go. And I'm just going to plug my audio source in here for my background music as well. Okay, now on the front side, we'll take the Ethernet jack that we've got, and this is just a standard RJ45. It is plugged into a Netgear PoE switch, and that will plug into the front of the interface. When I plug that in, what we're going to see is the power LEDs flashing on the front. There's a status and a paging light here. The status light, while it's booting, will flash back and forth about 10 times per second, and you'll see the blue and green flash, 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 flash. And, there it goes, and it's a little hard to see on the video, but it is flashing back and forth. When it goes to a steady flash of 1 per second, now you can see it's kind of pulsing in a heartbeat. That means the device is now initialized and it's ready to go. The first thing you have to do is to check the IP address of this device. The easiest way to do it is to press the RTFM button on the back just for a short interval. That's also used for for resetting back to factory settings as well. I'm just going to use a paper clip here and just press it in just for a second and release it. Okay, so it just gave me an IP address of 192.168.1.4, 192.168.1.4, and that will allow me to log into the interface. So let's have a look at the interface, and that's really all we have to do to connect all of the connectors on it. So we're good to go. Okay. So there's a logical sequence to activate and program the paging adapter. First off, in phone system, we're going to go down to phones and devices. And we're going to add a device. And this device, of course, will be a paging device. We'll select paging device and hit next. And we're going to give it a nickname. The nickname for this device, we'll give it, say, Vancouver Loudspeaker. Next. And these are the programming parameters that we're going to cut and paste into the Cyberdata device. And first off, we need to log in. So don't close this. Just open up another tab in your browser, and we'll log into the Cyberdata device. And of course, we're going to use the IP address that we gained from before, 192.168.1.4. And that will allow us to log in. We use default, which is admin username and admin password. And click on OK. In the Cyberdata, first thing we're going to go to is the device config. Under device config, there's a couple of parameters that need to be turned on or off. One is the bypass DTMF menus, go straight to page. We want to make sure that's turned on. It's off by default, so it has to be on. And if we're using a background music, we will enable the line in to line out loopback. That will allow the background music to play. We can check on SIP config. Go into SIP config. First off, we need to get all those programming parameters that we had from our device in phone system under voice manager and cut and paste them into this configuration. Go back to voice manager and grab the SIP server information, copy that. And over in the Cyberdata, we will paste that into the SIP server, just like that. And then do the same for remote SIP port, local SIP port, both the same. And more importantly, the outbound proxy, copy that. And paste that into the outbound proxy. Of course, the proxy port. And then the SIP user ID. Make sure you copy this exactly and try not to type it in because sometimes you can make an error. Just cut and paste it. Authentication ID. And follow that with the authentication password. Paste that in. Also, you would want to change the re-registration interval to 30 seconds and the keep alive period to 0. This will solve one of the problems that the Cyberdata has with losing registration over time. You want to save this, and once it's saved, you want to do a reboot. Now the device is rebooting, we can go back to phone system programming. And now we'll click Done. We want to add a group. We need to add this group into a paging group. So select groups and go down to the bottom and add a group. And select this as a paging only group. And inside this group, we want to give it an extension number and a name, of course. And we'll give it a name extension number. For example, we'll use 89. And we'll give it a group name. And we'll call it Vancouver Paging. Okay. Yes, we will want to configure the group so we can tell it what devices to page and who can actually page those devices. So clicking on device to receive page, this is where we're going to add the paging device. So click on Paging Devices tab, select our Vancouver Loudspeaker SPA, to the right and hit Save. Now we want to select the users that are allowed to use this group, and we'll select everybody, and we'll hit Save there as well. We'll hit Done, And you'll notice now that the SIP server is registered, device is registered. And that concludes the programming for the SIP paging adapter by Cyberdata. Now we'll test that interface, make sure it does page through the speakers and music would be heard during background, and allow that background music to be played. Stay tuned for part 2. We will be programming the Night Ringer on the same device. And once again, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more how-to videos. And don't forget to press the bell icon in the description below, and you'll get notifications of new videos. Thanks very much.